They've always said you need a good teammate to win at Daytona, someone to draft with, a dance partner. Not Richard Childress Racing. Those cars looked plenty fast on their own. How's it going, y'all? My name is Eric. Welcome once again to Out of the Groove on the Go, coming to you from the World Center of Racing, where, as you can see behind me, the grounds crew already getting a head start, repainting the infield grass ahead of tomorrow's Great American Race. Yeah, a lot of debris, a lot of cars sliding through the grass this afternoon. If you watch that ARCA race, ugh. The Xfinity Series wasn't exactly clean either, as it turned out. Lots to get to tonight. While it wasn't Austin Hill going to victory lane, Richard Childress Racing still was able to win their fourth consecutive February Daytona Xfinity Series race. That is an incredible streak. You'll hear from some of the top finishers momentarily, but let's start with Richard Childress Racing. Austin Hill, once again, was the car to beat. He could just make moves in the draft that no one else could make. He did not need much help. He could do it more or less on his own, but an oil leak midway through this race doomed his chance at a four-peat. He still managed to pass Dale Earnhardt Sr. for second on the all-time Xfinity Series drafting track laps led list. That was a tongue twister. That was a mouthful. He's now sandwiched between junior and senior most laps led in the Xfinity Series on drafting tracks. That is elite company. That's where Austin Hill now belongs. Great car, great drive, until a parts failure doomed him. Richard Childress came over the radio and said, hey, parts failures like that, unacceptable. Fortunately for Richard Childress Racing, they built two rocket ships in Welcome, North Carolina. We didn't hear much from Jesse Love in the first half of this race. Austin Hill swept the stages, but once Austin Hill went behind the wall, that number 2 Chevrolet came to life. We'd see the junior motorsports cars line up and try to get a run. The two Haas Factory teammates, Cred and Mayer, would work together, but it was 2 against 1, but the one was Michael Jordan in his prime. I want to talk about Jesse Love for just a moment. He is one of the top prospects, let's say, in the NASCAR ranks. He won his first race at Talladega last spring, his rookie season. Now he wins at Daytona, but his first non-drafting win is coming sooner rather than later. He is that good. And don't forget, he has a very experienced crew chief on the pit box. Danny Stockman is great. He's had plenty of success in this series. That is a ton of experience that Jesse can lean on. I think they're going to have a great year. A strong start to their sophomore season tonight. Don't forget, Jesse Love is only, I think he just turned 20 years old, like a couple weeks ago. Still very, very young, still new to this series, but learning it quickly. Congratulations to Jesse Love tonight. Hopefully, for the first time in a couple nights, the first place finisher actually gets to walk out of here with the trophy. Eric Jones crossed the line first in his duel, credited with second, and last night, of course, Parker Kligerman, we know what happened there in the post-race inspection line.
Obviously, our cars are really fast, so we have a lot of power in the hood and get good fuel mileage, but I credit a lot of it to Austin Hill. He's helped me a ton. This time last year, I really knew nothing, right? Austin was an open book for me, for the first, months of leading up to Daytona last year, and obviously that shortened my learning curve a lot. So I was a rookie, last year at the Speedways, but, I had a wealth of knowledge because of him, and I have, 3 pages of notes that he wrote for me to look over before I come to these racetracks. So, and he's the best at it. There's nobody better than him at this package, and he would have been really tough to beat tonight. And obviously, it helps when our cars are as good as they are.
Couple of highlights, or maybe lowlights, you might say, from this race before we get into some of the other top finishers. Lap 4, huge crash down the back straightaway, took out some good cars, damaged several others. Welcome back to Joe Gibbs Racing, Brandon Jones. And then during green flag pit stops late in the race, Chris Wright in the Our Motorsports Chevy just completely blew the entrance to pit road like a missile, smashed into the back of Josh Balicki's car. Scary situation. Got the chance to hear from Chris Wright when he came out of the Infield Care Center. He explained that they'd had some brake issues earlier in the race, but this wreck was really caused by him being called to pit road too late.
We just had some miscommunication coming to pit road there, and we wanted to get off track a little bit sooner than we did, but we had a little brake issue on that second stop. Tried to get to pit road, or get off the track a little bit sooner, and 2-second lull in communication. There's 2 football fields out there, so Really hate it for the FMB guys, our guys, Chevy guys. Got it.
Scary situation. Anyway, those were some of the lowlights. Now let's take a look at some top finishers and discuss this chaotic, frantic finish. Sam Mayer and Sheldon Creed finished second and third respectively. First race under the Haas Factory team banner. New brand, 2 new drivers to this team, new drivers to Ford. Great result, but it could have been more. It could have been more. They were the 2 against 1 I was talking about earlier. They were trying to take down Michael Jordan, but struggled on restarts to stay linked up. And then on the last lap, honestly, it looked like Creed just kind of bailed on Sam Mayer coming out of turn 4. I should say coming to the white flag. It turned out to be the checkered. But yeah, the 41 was kind of left hanging. Sam Mayer talked after the race about, trying to learn the draft, learn his new teammate Sheldon Creed. He still has some work to do there, he says.
This was some of the most fun I've had working with the teammate. Just purely because JRM, there's 4, sometimes 5 of us. So you're kind of working with really whoever's around you because there's someone around you at all times. Whereas now you have to really find your one teammate out there and really hook up with him and do everything on your own. So it was a lot of fun because it was challenging, but we both did a really good job. Sheldon's one of the best plate racers really in the series right now, so that helps a lot too. I'm definitely going to learn off of him this week. He's probably not the happiest with me necessarily for being a bad pusher today, but I'll learn for next week and for Talladega. That was kind of my first time in that instance where I had to be a good pusher, and it was a late race restart. So definitely going to go back and watch the video and learn how to do that better. But it just comes down to footwork. Get a little better at that, and we'll be in a good spot.
Still really good results for the 2 Haas Factory team guys, and it got me wondering, are we underrating this team? Sure, on the Cup Series side, they went from being a 4-team powerhouse to now just 1 team. The Stewart part of the Stewart-Haas Racing organization is completely gone. But on the Xfinity Series side, this team won a championship less than 2 years ago with Cole Custer. Last year with Custer and Riley Herbst, they both won multiple races. This is still a 2-car Xfinity operation helmed by Joe Custer, who I saw on pit road tonight and was very excited about the result for his new drivers. Cup versus Xfinity expectations have to be different. On the Cup side, this is like an RFK Racing satellite team now. They have a technical alliance with Roush. But on the Xfinity Series side, I think they're still a powerhouse, a Ford powerhouse. Sam Mayer, Sheldon Creed were extremely fast all weekend long. I think they will be fast at every type track all season long. So I'm not saying many people were discounting Haas Factory team, but in case there was any doubt that this team isn't going to be a contender, I think tonight washed most of that away. They clearly have the horsepower. They'll figure it out from there and contend for several wins throughout the season, I believe. I got to give my guy Jordan Anderson some credit finishing 7th. We were talking to him on pit road after the race. He said that the car he was driving tonight, the chassis he raced to a 7th place finish tonight, was a 2012 Germain Racing chassis that when they bought the car had Casey Mears wrap all over it. That's the car Jordan Anderson just drove to nearly another top 5 finish. Something about Jordan Anderson and Daytona. He's finished 2nd in the truck race a couple times here. He's had some really good Xfinity Series finishes. Spent some time talking to him on pit road after the race. You could tell this meant a lot to him as both a driver and especially a small team owner.
That's the risk when you come to a plate race, and seeing Jeff's car torn up, because a few laps before he was running 2 spots ahead of me, and I'm like, man, I hope things shake out and I can maybe push him to the win or push him to a good finish. And we're both, kind of like last year when we both, me and Parker Redsloff, were top 5, and maybe we can repeat that again. And seeing him get torn up is certainly a bummer, but thankfully we've got enough depth in our shop we can fix it up. And as we say it jokingly sometimes in racing, it's just money. You just money and time and resources, and you kind of know that's the thing. Like that story I was sharing about the car that we built here. The car that I ran at Talladega got so tore up, it didn't make sense to try to fix it. So I scrummaged around and went and found an old chassis, and we hung a body on it, found parts and pieces to work with it, and we'll take it to the racetrack. So, that's the fun part of, this racing, super speedway racing specifically, because they actually had talked about last season going away with because super speedway chassis are different than anywhere else you run. You can look at them and it's got the high oil tank, and the center links are different, and the lower control arms are a little bit different. They're kind of their own animal. Like once you run Daytona, you kind of put that car in the corner until you go to Talladega, and it's not going to go to Atlanta, it's not going to go to Coda, it's not going to go to Vegas. So it's kind of unique when you come here and run these races. You know that all 3 may come back in the dumpster with the box and all the pieces thrown in the trailer, or all 3 might come back clean with a good run. And again, these are opportunity races, so to have a good run certainly goes a long way.
I'm not sure I got a clip of it, but Jordan Anderson also said that recently they took a trip out to Colorado to buy some old parts and pieces from Furniture Row that were still laying around. So, like, that's how resourceful Jordan Anderson, the team owner, has to be. Really interesting stuff, if you ask me. Anyway, more top finishers. So many guys with new teams this year. Harrison Burton in the 25 AM Racing, going to take some getting used to. He raced with the leaders much of the night. Look at some of these other guys in the top 10. Dean Thompson racing for Sam Hunt. Patrick Emmerling. Jeremy Clements, 2022 Summer Daytona winner. I think I got the year right. That was a chaotic race. Gosh, don't remind me. We're up till 2 a.m. Good finish as well for Matt DiBenedetto with Viking Motorsports. But there you go, some of the top finishers. One driver I haven't mentioned yet. The other night I mentioned Toni Breidinger as sort of this new driver. Everyone's watching her. She showed great resilience. Spun out early, got damaged, raced her way back up into the top 10 before being caught up in another wreck. Connor Zilic went through very much the same arc tonight. He's a great young prospect. A lot of people are watching him, expecting big things from him this season. Gets caught up in that lap 4 crash, has some damage, battles back, up into the top 5, battling for the lead late in this race, working well with his Junior Motorsports, his new semi-teammates, I suppose. There are a lot of Trackhouse guys working on that 88, but it is technically a Junior Motorsports entry. Got up there racing for the lead before getting caught up down the backstretch. Another big crash, got spun out of line. Sheldon Creed was kind of floating between lanes, and the outside groove just had such a run that Zilic just sort of got pinched, got squeezed into the wall. Really unfortunate for him, but I wanted to give him a shout out because this is also his first full-time Xfinity Series season. He's only made a few starts, never run a super speedway race in these cars, and considering the damage, considering the setback early, I thought the resilience, the confidence he showed was impressive. I praised Toni Breidinger's confidence, her will last night. I'm going to praise Connor Zilic for very much the same thing here today. Checking my notes, I think that's everything I really wanted to cover. Congratulations again to Jesse Love. Fingers crossed again that post-race inspection goes well and I don't have to come back out here in an hour and update the running order. I know he's only won super speedway races, but considering how good RCR is in the Xfinity Series, again, Danny Stockman, good crew chief. Jesse Love's got the raw talent. He's starting to find his groove, no pun intended. I expect big things from Jesse Love this year. This could be the start of a serious breakout season. Let me know if you agree or disagree down in the comment section below. That's going to do it. Leave a like if you enjoyed this video. Subscribe for more NASCAR content, commentary, interviews, race recaps, and so much more. Big thank you, as always, to my Patreon supporters. It's thanks to your support that I'm able to come to the track, cover these races in person, get that on-the-ground feel, talk to some of the competitors. Really appreciate what you all do for the show. Tomorrow, of course, is the Daytona 500, the big one, what we've been building towards these past few days, really all off-season long. I'll be here doing a post-race video after the checkered flag. Hope you'll tune in. Have a great rest of your Saturday night, folks. Take it easy.